Hey there, Cosmic Warriors, and welcome back to another video. And if you are new here, my name is Hannah. I am a Western Practical Astrologer. Okay, so in today's video, we are going to be exploring the relationship between your sun sign and your Mercury sign. What do they say about you? Stay tuned because we are going to get into it. But before we do, make sure to subscribe, hit the like button and click the bell. And if you are interested in booking a reading with me, then you can visit my website, hannahselsewhere.com. There you can also find all of my astrology products. And if you do want new videos early, ad-free, plus PDF guides and daily forecasts, then head on over to my Patreon. That is a great way to support the channel, to support my work. And thank you so much to my patrons for all of your support. I appreciate you. As always, I hope you find this video to be helpful. Let's do this. All right, so the synodic cycle of the Sun and Mercury is about 4 months due to how often Mercury turns retrograde. This is about 3 to 4 times a year. Sun and Mercury meet for a superior conjunction, starting a new mindset and communication cycle. Then about 2 months later, Sun and Mercury meet again. Only this time, Mercury is retrograde. This is known as an inferior conjunction. This conjunction then is about us reflecting on the ideas that we sort of initiated during the superior conjunction. Now, we also then review communication during this particular conjunction. Then about 2 months after that, another superior conjunction occurs. So this cycle repeats basically. The dance then of Sun and Mercury, the Sun and Mercury synodic cycle, it's varied. It is varied. This is because the Sun and Mercury meet just so often. They are never too far apart. It's kind of like they're playing a game of tag. Mercury can only be one sign away from the Sun. And so with these signs changing often, the dance between them is multifaceted. The beat, the tempo, the rhythm, these things change swiftly indeed. It can be difficult though to keep up. Imagine Mercury as if we're on a roller coaster, like Mercury is spinning us around and we're getting dizzy. What is Mercury about, you might ask? Well, Mercury is about our intellect, how we think, how we form thought, processing information, how we learn, especially learning new information, how we connect the dots, how we connect information together. And then the Sun is so much about the type of person we're striving to become in this life. It's so much about our purpose, our direction, but it's also about our ego, our individuality, how we express ourselves. And so when these celestial bodies meet, we are given an opportunity to consider our words, our voice, right? Thinking about how we express our words, how we really share our words in a way that's authentic to us. So when Sun and Mercury meet, a new cycle begins then within our chart, and the energy of the cycle depends on the sign. So for example, we had the Mercury Cassimi. So this is when the Sun and Mercury are conjunct within 17 minutes. We had that Mercury Cassimi in Pisces, March 2024, which invited a new cycle to do with our imagination and allowing our minds to wander. Mercury then became the evening star. Now, another cycle in this sign will occur in 6 years' time. But you see, when looking at the Sun-Mercury retrograde conjunction, which is another Mercury Cassimi, this is a time when we review, we reflect, we evaluate. Mercury becomes the morning star. This is when we process information more quietly. We reflect on our words, past communication matters come up, and during a Mercury retrograde period, it is important to check things and to also accept that delays are going to happen. They're going to happen. Maybe it would be best to sort of prepare for potential delays. And I also feel the need to mention here that the moon is important to look at in combination with the Sun and Mercury. The reason why I'm saying this is because Mercury acts as the bridge, the messenger between your conscious, which is the sun, and your unconscious, which is the moon. It's as if Mercury delivers information back and forth within your brain. So because the sun and Mercury are never too far away from one another, the sun will either conjunct Mercury in your chart by degree or by sign, or the sun and Mercury will be in aversion. So let's go through the sun and Mercury aspects. Do let me know in the comments what your sun and Mercury combination is. For this video, I am using traditional aspects, but do also consider modern aspects. For more information about aspects, I have made a series all about them, so do check that out. Sun and Mercury in the same sign, Sun-Mercury conjunction. Now, there are a few different variations of this. You could have Sun and Mercury in the same sign, but they are not conjunct by degree, or they are conjunct by a degree. And if they are 8 degrees apart, about that, Mercury is combust. Or you could have Sun and Moon conjunct by 17 minutes, and then this means that you were born during a Mercury Cassimi. Or, see, all the variations. Mercury could be retrograde in your chart. If both Sun and Mercury are in the same sign, just overall in your chart, this means that you also think like your sun sign. You express yourself like your sun sign, but you also think like that. So not only do you express like a Leo, for instance, if you got your sun in Leo, you also speak like one. You sound like one. If you've got Mercury in Leo too, you process information like one. But if Sun and Mercury are about 8 degrees apart within the sign, Mercury is combust, suggesting tension within conversations if or when you feel like you're not being listened to, when you're not being heard. You might have pride. You take pride in what you say. As if your words are a part of you, they mean something to you. And so you typically mean what you say. But if you were born with Sun and Mercury within 17 minutes apart, you're full of ideas, full of them. It's as if you're bursting at the seams with them. Very creative. You can connect the dots super well. You might possess a special gift within areas that involve communication, writing, advertising, editing, or using good hand-eye coordination. But at the same time, your words can be super fast. It can be difficult to keep up with you in conversations and discussions. And if you were born when Mercury was retrograde, so Sun and Mercury retrograde are in the same sign. Again, this does depend on if Mercury is combust or was it a Mercury Cassimi. But essentially, you may find that how you communicate is very personal. It's very personal. It is possible as well that, how you learn and process information is so different to that of the majority of your peers, your colleagues. You might also prefer to take your time when learning something new, but you can also be sharp, witty, very swift with your words. As soon as a new piece of information clicks, it's almost like it's cemented into your brain. You can also be highly analytical and observant, which you may pride yourself on. My partner actually was born with Sun conjunct Mercury retrograde, and yes, my partner is very sharp. Okay, so then let's look to Sun and Mercury in aversion. Mercury in the sign before or after your sun sign. So if your Mercury sign is in the sign before or after your sun sign, yes, it's in aversion. In modern astrology, however, they can create a semi-sextile. Still, with the Sun and Mercury here in this way, it can feel like your sun sign and your Mercury sign, they don't connect the best. As if they are different to each other. So as you seek to express and outwardly show the qualities and traits of your sun sign, the words that come out of your mouth come across more like your Mercury sign. At the same time, your Mercury sign points to your thoughts and how you piece information together. And these things then play a role in how you outwardly express too. It's really a mix. It's a mix of the two that come through. And it is interesting because it's often said that when signs are in aversion, it's like a shadow part of us. So you could very well be somewhat more in tune with the shadow of your Mercury. That could be a possibility. So the sign that, your Mercury is in, you could maybe be more in touch with its shadow. Still, it's about the mix of the two here, because the sun is conscious and Mercury is the bridge between our conscious and unconscious, the deliverer of messages within our brain. So when you speak, the sound of your Mercury sign is heard through the way you express, through how you radiate and shine and glow. But the thing about the aversion is that you might question what you say, or you might overthink how you show up around others. Or there can be times when you don't identify so much with the traits and qualities of your sun. That could be a thing. It makes sense because you may think to yourself, I don't think that way, so that doesn't make sense to me. On the other hand, someone can recognize you or compliment you for your sun sign traits, and then you experience this sort of healthy ego boost, and you're like, okay, I can see that then. But what if Mercury is retrograde? Similar to those who were born with Sun and Mercury retrograde in the same sign, the way you learn, communicate, and process information may be quite different to that of your peers and your colleagues. Mercury retrograde can show up as delayed speech or a lot of talking, difficulty listening, or having many creative ideas. It really depends on the sign Mercury retrograde is in. Of course, it always depends on the sign, but Mercury retrograde in the sign beside your sun is still going to show up as you thinking differently to that of your sun sign. But it's also about the combination of the two, as I've been trying to say here. So for instance, babies born now, so the sun is in Taurus currently, and Mercury retrograde is in Aries. So we're looking at April 2024. There's a few days in April where we experience this. Well, they might grow up outwardly expressing traits of comfort and patience, but in their mind can be very fast. For them, it's important to slow down their thoughts, and they can do this by bringing awareness to them. Practicing there is always tomorrow, this always tomorrow mindset, or we'll get there. We'll get there when we get there. This type of mindset can be very useful. It is interesting because Steve Jobs was born with Sun in Pisces and Mercury retrograde in Aquarius, and he was a tech innovator. His ideas led to the majority of mankind holding an iPhone in their hand. Indeed, if you have Mercury retrograde in your chart, you could be a highly creative and inventive person. Okay then, Cosmic Warriors, so that concludes my video talking all about your Sun and Mercury signs. Again, let me know your Sun and Mercury combination in the comments, and let me know if you find this video to be helpful. Did you learn something new? I would really appreciate your feedback, and like you, I am always learning. Thank you again to my patrons over at Patreon for all of your support, and as always, let me know your thoughts and your opinions on today's video. But with all of that being said, thank you so much for watching, thank you for subscribing, and of course, if you would like to see more videos from myself and you have not yet subscribed, then make sure that you click that subscribe button and also give this video a like if you did like it today. And I will be back with another video very, very soon. Bye!